Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Leigh Wood scores a revenge unanimous decision, 12-round unanimous decision, becomes a WBA World Featherweight Champ again. And this was really a case of, let me get that fly out of the way. This was really a case of a clinic, really. I mean, Wood was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You do have to factor in the fact that Mauricio Lara failed the weight, which is never a good thing. He did appear sluggish, somewhat flat-footed by his standards, and he didn't seem to have the ability to pull the trigger, those explosive bursts that he gives, you know, whenever he gets anywhere close to a fighter. I've always thought Lara was very beatable, but you've got to be switched on and concentrate to do it. And in the first fight with Wood, I picked Wood to win. I thought Wood would stop Lara. Of course, we know what happened. Lara stopped him with one punch, a big left hook. A towel came in from Ben Davison. And you had to wonder in the rematch, can Wood do what he was doing for the first 6 rounds, which is half the fight in the first fight, concentrate enough to stay away from that 1 second of disaster? I thought 36 minutes was a lot. But when he failed the weight, Lara, I was beginning to think, because I picked Lara to win initially, I thought, I just wonder. I mean, Wood's never going to have a better chance to get him. Because, yeah, you can come in a few pounds overweight or whatever. I don't even know what Lara was, but it's not necessarily an advantage. Because if you're, first of all, it indicates that you haven't done your camp properly. And that usually means you haven't done it mentally, psychologically properly, as well as physically. Maybe Lara put on a ton of weight and spent the whole camp trying to lose it. But he looked sluggish. And even though from the word go, you know, it's like trying to defuse a bomb, which is precisely what Wood did. You cannot make a mistake. But Wood didn't make any mistakes. He really didn't. I mean, he boxed absolutely beautifully. From the word go, he looks like a weight division bigger than Lara. So it's strange that Lara missed the weight and Wood didn't. But that's discipline for you. And there's so much to be said for staying disciplined, having a structured camp, you know, with a real excellent boxing brain, which is Ben Davison. Everyone makes fun of Ben Davison because, you know, we're calling him Head and Shoulders and Vidal Sassoon and all this stuff, which is quite funny. But the guy knows boxing, okay? And he's a very, very cerebral guy. And he seems to have really gelled with Wood. I mean, Wood has come on leaps and bounds since he teamed up with Ben Davison. And I just wonder, you know, you could have knowledge, but it's how you impart it on other people. And I've always said this, that certain trainers fit certain fighters and vice versa. One size does not fit all. You've got to be on the same wavelength. You've got to be thinking the same. If someone gives you some information, you've got to not just understand what it means technically, but understand when to use it. Put the tools in your fistic box and take them out. You don't know when to take which tools out at which time. And there seems to be that sort of synergy between Ben Davison and Leigh Wood, and it's really impressive, I think. Really, really impressive. Well, anyway, in the first round, I thought Leigh Wood, the jab was on point. His right hand was glued to the side of his face, bearing in mind the left hook ending of the last fight. And I think I gave Wood the opening round. In the second round, Wood carried on where he left off, using his feet beautifully. He really did. His footwork was absolutely sublime stuff. And he landed a huge right uppercut, I think it was the 3rd minute of the second round, and put Lara over on his backside. Lara wasn't particularly hurt. He got up, and that was clearly a 10-8 round for Wood. Now, it's difficult to sort of... I mean, Wood picked... I think around about the 4th round, Wood picked up a cut over, I think it was a left eye. And it wasn't a nice one. It was sort of along the eyebrow, just above the eyelid, I think. I don't think it was on the eyelid, but it was bleeding. But again, no panicking from Wood. Controlled the range beautifully with the jab. Kept Lara on the end of that jab. Lara looking to be explosive, looking for the left hook. Did fire a couple of overhand rights that looked quite ominous. Did land on Leigh, but any time on the very rare occasions when Lara landed, Leigh Wood took the punishment well. If he didn't seem perturbed, at no point was he shaken. Repeatedly in the corner, Davison said, you know, stay concentrated. You can do this. Don't get lax. You know, And he did it. I mean, it was an absolute clinic of a performance. And even though, you know, you have to factor in, like I said, you know, the issue with Lara failing the weight, don't take anything away from Leigh Wood. He boxed beautifully, and he overcame some real demons in his head, you know, about being knocked out. Every fighter's going to have them. But from the word go, he was extremely disciplined, looked extremely confident, and Lara was strangely disinterested throughout the fight. He'd go back to the corner, he'd be chatting to his corner. During the fight, he just didn't look interested. He looked sluggish. He looked, I mean, he'd lost his title on the scale, so maybe he thought, well, if there's no title available, I'll just take the money and go home. I'm not going to risk anything. And Wood didn't have he didn't come close to putting Lara over again, but then the opposite was true. And Wood's got heavy hands as well. We make a big deal out of Lara, you know, and he does have extreme power, but Wood can hit hard as well. I mean, he knocked out Conlon, he knocked out Zucan. You know, he's a heavy-handed guy. And Lara didn't really look perturbed at all for any other part of the fight, but that's because Wood was really concentrating on his boxing, and as long as he did that, he was never going to lose this fight. And the rounds ticked by, and anyway, to cut a long story short, by the end of it, I had Leigh Wood winning this fight 116-111. That's a 10-8 in the second that's 8 rounds to 4 with a 10-8 in the second for Wood. But you could have made this. One of the judges had like 118, 111 or something like that. Yeah. You could. The couple of the rounds I gave to Lara could have gone to Wood. I mean, they were swing rounds, but very impressive by Wood. He is the WBA featherweight champ again for the second time. This was vacant, of course, because Lara got stripped. If Lara's serious about boxing, he needs to go back. He needs to discipline himself better. Maybe he want to move up a division. I don't know. But Leigh Wood at 34, I mean, he wants Warrington next, and that'll be a great fight. The styles would match well. I would definitely pick Wood to win that fight, probably by knockout. But as for Lara at 25, I mean, maybe when he finally got that belt, he'd reached the top of the mountain. He took the bag, went home, got another bag today. Maybe that's all he's interested in. He's made a few quid. I don't know what goes through fighters' minds, but it's kind of like when Duran beat Leonard, and in the rematch, he just was a shadow of himself because he'd let himself get out of shape. It's, yeah. Some fighters fall into that trap. Andy Ruiz against AJ in the rematch came in at 19 stone or whatever it was, fatter than ever, but he gave the title back. But anyway, did you see this fight? What did you think of it? It was on DAZN. Who do you think Leigh Wood should fight next? What about Lara? They might bring him over at Super Feather, perhaps, for someone. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinions. Thanks for your time, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, please. If you could do that, that'd be great. Just hit the subscribe button and the like button as well. And leave some comments below for me to have a read of. I always enjoy those. And yeah, we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.